My name is Dom Roveto. I'm a graphic design student. I'm a junior. I really started getting into art as a kid, like as soon as I could pick up a pencil, really. Like I love drawing on literally anything I could get my hands on. My dad's a pilot, so he would have like a work manual or something for a new plane he was flying, and I would just like draw all over it. So like I'd go to school and like I would like to draw like a battle scene with like Master Hand or Link, whoever I was playing with in Smash at the time. Like that was a huge source of inspiration for me growing up, like cartoons and video games. And I really liked to be able to make something, but then after I figured out how to draw the characters that I was idolizing at the time, I was like, wow, I can make my own characters. And that's pretty cool too. I started to really care about art, consider it a career option by like right after I finished my senior year of high school. I had this teacher that was really inspirational. No teacher had really challenged me artistically throughout high school. So I got to work with mediums like charcoal and some digital stuff and paint. That was a new experience for me and really kind of opened my mind to the idea of pursuing it as a career. My biggest inspiration artistically is probably Hayao Miyazaki or James Jean, just two artists that I follow. Hayao Miyazaki made all the Studio Ghibli films like Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke. And I think those are like great inspirational pieces because like this person just made a world out of nothing. Yeah, James Jean is he's done like album work for famous bands like Linkin Park. His work is primarily like printmaking, and it's a lot of just like flowing, just kind of almost psychedelic visuals, just really like pleasing to the eye to look at. I like the like outcome of paint the best with oil paint, but I would probably prefer drawing with pen to be my favorite medium. I feel like you can get the most variety in your line work and shading. Oil painting takes a ridiculous amount of time because if you mess up one thing, then you have to wait like a whole day or two for it to dry just so you can go back to it. Like for my painting class, I had to do like a pair of paintings, but like collectively those took like a week to do, and I had to use like literally every day of the week for 3 to 4 plus hours just to finish all those. It was really stressful because if I messed up one thing, that set me back for like all 3 paintings instead of just one. Like you have to do a bunch of prep work too. So you have to buy the canvas, you have to buy the stretcher boards, then you put the stretcher boards together, then you have to stretch the canvas, nail it onto the board, then you have to put gesso, which is like white acrylic paint mixed with water on there. Then you have to do 2 layers of that. And that takes forever because it just sinks into the canvas and gets absorbed. And then you have to wait for it to dry in there, and so that way it doesn't bleed through the canvas when you paint. Recently, the most passionate project I've had was I got to do a copy of a famous artwork, and so I copied The Elephants by Salvador Dali. And that was cool because I actually got to, like prior to that in our class, we'd only been working in still lives, so we had just been copying or painting like just random stuff on a table that had compositional value, and that was kind of annoying because I really didn't like that, and it just didn't work for me. But with that piece, that was the first time we got to like make organic figures. It has like the organic part of like animals, but it has like the surrealism and the just ridiculousness that Salvador Dali had in his paintings. But then after we did the copy one, we got to do our version of it, which for me I did like instead of 2 elephants, I had a donkey and an elephant, and they were supposed to be like the 2 political parties. And they were like stomping on the ground, like pillaging oil. So that had like a very strong political message, I felt, and my parents hated it, so that made me love it more. I used the idea of the political parties because it was like right after I was able to vote for the first time, and so I was really kind of passionate about this election. I cared a lot about it. Plus just on social media, like every day you just see posts about it, and you see just, you know, everyone's political bias, and it was just kind of, I felt it was kind of annoying, and there's something that could be said about it without actually saying something about it. The hardest thing, like I said before, the hardest thing in my opinion is explaining your art afterward, because like it's such a personal thing, like it almost kind of makes you feel vulnerable in a way. So like I did this piece where it was like a bunch of stuff just like scattered out on like my nightstand. And like for me, I had a deeper meaning to the piece of where like it shows your like just your vices in college, like things people turn to kind of like just numb the daily mundane routine, or to, you know, just escape issues you have, because a lot of people don't like addressing issues directly. But with this piece, I had to explain it in front of a class, and then like immediately the teacher's like, oh, well, that's kind of interesting topic, like kind of makes you sound like an alcoholic or something. Like, you know, people just interpret it wrong. People misinterpret your like actual meaning. That's like the cool thing about art, I think, because what it means to you doesn't necessarily mean the same thing to someone else. Like somebody else could look at the same thing you made, which has like so much emotional connection or implication on it that like to you it makes sense and to someone else makes sense in a different way, which is frustrating. It can be frustrating to the artist, but at the same time, that's the point. Well, I got to go to Italy for I think 6 weeks, and we spent 3 weeks in Rome, where we had an apartment thing that was probably a 10-minute walk, if that, from the Vatican. Like our lessons where we would go to a site and then we would kind of go view the art. We'd have a quick lesson from our instructor and then we'd be set loose to go study and draw whatever we want. So for me, I took the chance to work on like faces and profiles and just facial expressions in general for my drawings. And because like that's something that I've always kind of struggled with a bit, like, or thought that was difficult to portray is just facial expressions, because like eyes are hard, because like it's hard to like get them lined up right, and then no one's face is actually symmetrical, but your brain's telling you that they need to be symmetrical in a drawing. I got to draw a bunch of like busts and like just marble statues and stuff, and the best part about those is none of them have eyes. And so for me, like the fact that they didn't have eyes was like so beneficial to my drawing and making facial expressions, because people like look at eyes as like the main indicator of how someone's feeling, or like body language, I guess. So getting to draw faces without the eyes helped me really understand how to like just create the face, create expression on the face, and just like put emotional value in something before I put the eyes in. I guess advice I can give people who are thinking about pursuing art or that kind of thing is that everybody will tell you it's a bad idea and you won't make any money doing it. But you know, it's 2017, you can make a career doing just about anything now. And I think art is like, especially with graphic design or any kind of like multimedia work, like there's so much to be done there. Like it's just like there's just so many possibilities for that. And you can make a career out of art. You just have to pursue it, learn as much as you can, take as much out of everything around you. Just kind of create my own little like world that I would, as a kid, be like, wow, one day like this could be a video game, or this could be a TV show, or this could be like something that'll entertain someone else and inspire someone else.